The legal drinking age has been discussed for many years now all over the world. In the United States, the legal drinking age was changed from 18 to 21 in 1984, while in the rest of the world, the legal drinking age is still 18. This next few minutes will focus on the necessity of changing the legal drinking age back to 18 in the United States as well, so that we can be just like the rest of the world. Now that brings up the four important things that I will focus on today. In the beginning, I'll start out by talking about the fact that changing the legal drinking age from 18 to 21 does not prevent minors from consuming alcohol. That will then be followed by the argument that people are allowed to smoke cigarettes as well as buy them when they're 18 years old, but they are not able to drink. Now, that creates a problem, which will be discussed later on, which would then lead to the third point, that police officers and those working in law enforcement can focus on something other than underage drinking, which has become a problem in our society because a lot of young adults choose to drink. And it could instead shift focus to something much more important. And then the final points will discuss some of the arguments that can be made against the change of the drinking age from 21 to 18. Okay, to begin with, changing the legal drinking age from 18 to 21 does not prevent alcohol consumption by minors. This is evident because every single day, people that are under 21 choose to drink, whether they drink liquor, beer. It really is not important, and yet they still consume those beverages, whether they're allowed to or not. The fact that they're not allowed to do it actually inspires them to try, as well as actively consume these beverages, just because they want to fit in with the rest, with whether it's peers or just with the trends. Still, they would like to do this just because the law prohibits it. And also, there has been absolutely no correlation at all in the studies that have been done about this law that was passed and the amount of people that drink nowadays. People still are going to drink whether you make a law about it or not. Which brings up the next point, that cigarettes can be purchased at the age of 18 and can also be smoked, while alcohol cannot be bought at that age. Now, that creates a problem because when somebody turns 18, they're considered adults. An adult is supposed to be able to choose what he or she is allowed to have, is allowed to drink, is allowed to smoke, or is allowed to do. There is no reason why anybody in this world tells them otherwise unless it is against the law. Therefore, it is important that the law be changed so that people of this, from the ages of 18 to 21, can enjoy a drink or two, because smoking can be more harmful than drinking, since once a lung is lost, it is lost for good. There is absolutely no way to get a new lung. But a liver, there can be a liver transplant, which is the part of your body that is hurt the most by drinking. Therefore, tobacco, cigarettes, are much more harmful to a person's health as well, and yet they are still allowed. That does not sound right, if you ask me. Which also brings up a third point, that it would definitely help our law enforcement if they didn't have to chase around minors that are drinking, because they can choose for themselves whether they want to drink or not. If they are doing something against the law because they are drunk, that is a different story. But people of all ages do something against the law when they drink. it's much harder to police it when somebody is underage, and there's no need to do it when there's bigger issues that need to be dealt with, such as murder, as well as rape, theft, plenty of cases that require attention. Drinking is not one of them. Which brings up the fact that there are people who believe that 21 is a suitable age to allow drinking. Some of these arguments that can be made are that people under the age of 21 do not have the metabolism to process the alcohol, and therefore it is unhealthy for them to be drinking. However, a person who is 20 years old is not that far behind a person who is 21 years old. And also, people mature and age differently. It's very hard to quantify that. And also, a person can choose for himself how much alcohol to have. People who are much older, 30 or 40 or 50, still do not know how much alcohol they can or cannot have. Also, it can also be argued that people at a young age spend a lot of money on alcohol when they could be spending it on something much more useful. And a lot of that money is money that was given by parents who would like to see it go towards something more vital and more necessary in life. Even though that may be true, it is once again the responsibility of an adult. Of course, it's a young adult, but at the same time, the person is still an adult, and if he can choose what career path he wants, he can choose whether or not he or she wants to smoke, and he can also choose what he or she wants to do during the day. He should also be allowed to choose what he or she wants to consume. And again, that is the responsibility of that person and nobody else. Now, to sum everything up, alcohol should be allowed to be consumed at the age of 18, and the legal drinking age should be changed accordingly. Also, it is not the parents' choice as well as society's choice of what a person can or cannot drink once he is an adult. Once a person is an adult, he should have all the rights and opportunities that he's entitled to. Therefore, make sure you support the change of the legal drinking age from 21 to 18.